Hi everyone, it's glad that we have come to the end of this semester and I believe the recitation project is our last recitation and also your last assignment. And you need to treat it seriously because it is worth of 25 points and you should submit your assignment, your recitation project file to Canvas. Okay? And now, because this is the recitation project, and I will provide you some guidance on how to finish this recitation project. And we need to follow the directions and the requirements we presented in our file. So first, you need to follow the instructions listed in the next pages to create the recitation project file, and also enter your name on cell A1 of the worksheet. Okay, so we just create a new worksheet, which is called recitation project. And in A1, we need to present our name. Okay, and don't forget to submit the right file to Canvas. Okay. Now let's start our first worksheet spreadsheet, which is called grades. Follow the instructions. First, start Excel, create a blank worksheet. This subtask is done. Select the cell C3 on the worksheet and enter assignment 1. So C3. Assignment 1. Okay, you can double click on the borderline to adjust the Weizhi automatically. And select the file handle on C3 and drag down to transfer the entry all the way to cell C11. Okay, so it's right here to C13. Now you need to ensure that assignment 11 is on C13. So this is all of you. I think you have already know how to use it. So task T, select the cell C14 on the worksheet and enter quiz 1. Okay, it is quiz 1. And now we also use the autofill to make it into quiz 9, which is located in C12 2012. Okay, rename the worksheet as grades. So this is on the bottom of this page. You can see the name sheet 1, so double click on it. You can change it to grades. Okay, so this is task F. Okay, coming to task G. Type the following 5 entries on cell C24 to C28. Okay, so you need to just type all of them. Exam 1, exam 2, and instructor extra credit. TA extra credit. Recitation project. Okay, and following, so next task H. Add the following 3 entries to the list of activities on the C column below C28. Below C28. Okay, so we just leave the number 28 row blank. So next will be final exam part 1. Final exam part 1 to 3. And starting on D3, the numerical you have obtained so far as listed in the score column of the grades page. Okay, so for task I, because for each assignment and also the exam, every one of you have got different grade. So you need to enter your scores in column D. Okay, I just enter some random number. Okay, so for example, for assignment 1, I got 21, and assignment 2, 22, assignment 3, 25. Okay, let's go on. And don't forget, for assignment 1, we just, because it is an extra point assignment, so the maximum point is just 2. Okay, 20. But you also need to remember the assignment 9 and 10, which are worth only 20 points rather than 25. Okay, so this will be 18 and 19 and also 20, 23. Okay, and now quiz one. I make all the quiz 2, 3. Okay, but you need to just enter your real scores. And for exam one, I make it as 45 and 40. And instructor extra point, the maximum should be, I think the instructor extra point, the maximum is 10. And what I have got is, for example, 7. And T extra point, the maximum is 8. And I can just get like 8. Okay. And recitation project, maximum is 20. Oh, sorry, 25. And I think I can get 22. Oh, sorry, because we have not finished this part, so we don't need to just enter the scores we have got. Okay, so maximum should be 25, and this is 20 for assignment 9, and assignment 10 is also 20. So quizzes should be 5 for each. And exam 1 and 2 are both 50 points, right? And okay, so for each part of final exam, there will be 50 points, right? Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry, 25 points. So we also use all of you. Okay, so this is the data set we have created right now. Okay, let's come to the task key. On row 35, do the following. Enter the label totals on C35. Okay, C35, we just enter the label totals. The total point option will be calculated on D35, since there might be some blank cells. And appropriate function is SUMIF. Okay, so arguments or parameters for SUMIF, first is range and second is criteria, and next is sum range. Okay, so now I believe our formula should be first the SUMIF, and the range is D3 to D31, and the criteria should be large or equal to 0, right? And also sum range is also the same, D3 to D31. Okay, we just press tab, and our totals is 331. And for each one of you, your total scores obtained right now will be different. Okay, and our second job is copy the function from D35 to E35. Use the auto fill. Okay. So the maximum points you can get is 528. Give me 1 second. Let me just check. Sorry, I just forget the note. If there is an item for which you do not have a grade yet, do not enter the maximum points for it. Okay, so forget this note. Okay, right now we need to just delete our score for extra credit and also for the final exam. Okay. Oh, sorry, it is 2. Assignment 1 is just 2 points. Yeah. And I believe for assignment 10 and 11, we have not got the points, right? Assignment 9, you have not finished assignment 9, right? Okay, so what you have finished right now is just assignment 1 to assignment 9 and quiz 1 to quiz 8, and also the 2 exams. Okay, so this is everything right now. Okay. If there is an item for which you do not have a grade yet, do not enter the maximum points for it. Okay. And also, the formula is also the same. It is sum if, and after sum is D3 to D31, and criteria is larger or equal to 0. Okay. So the task I on row 36, enter label performance. Row 36, performance. And on D36, enter the formula to calculate your performance percentage by simply dividing percentage style with 1 decimal. Okay. So if you want to just calculate your performance, you can just use D35, divide D35 over E35, right? Okay. And you need to just change the format. Okay, format cells, click percentage and make decimal places with into 1. Okay, so we have already got 84.9% of the scores till now. Okay, and the next job is to decide what is our letter grade given the percentage grade. So we need to use a VLOOKUP function. I think we have already covered them. On T3, you need to just create this table. Okay, T3 right here. Okay, it should be 0% and F, 6% and A. Oh, sorry, 6% D, 30% C, 76% C plus, and 80% it should be B, and for 87% it should be B plus, and 90 should be A, right? So this is our VLOOKUP table. And now on row 37, we just enter the label, let agree, and we use a VLOOKUP function. I think you should be very familiar. VLOOKUP value is T35, right? 36, okay? And table area should be T3 to H9, right? T3 to H9. And the column index number is 2. And we use the approximate match, right? And press tab. Okay, it's clear that we will get a letter grade which is B. If our performance is 84.9%, okay, it is correct, right? And now we need to come to some other complicated task. Okay, for the task O is what if analysis. Because right now you still did not get the grades for assignment 10, 11, and also it extra credits, recitation project, and the final exam. Okay, so we just want to calculate the letter grade for your final score if we use some simulation scenarios. For example, we just assume that you can get some grades for final exam and also extra points, and we just simulated them and calculated the letter grade uh, which you have got for this semester. Okay. And also, what you need to be noticed on is the formula entered on cell D35, which currently contains some if needs function, needs to be modified to process the final exam score. I believe that in our previous recitations, I have already talked about the second chance option. The second chance option will work like this. For example, if the for example, if you have got for final exam part 1, the maximum points is 25, right? But you have got 23, and 23 times 2 equal to 46, right? So 46 is larger than your grade for exam 1, which is 45, and the final exam part 1 grade will override your exam 1. Okay, so this is our second chance option. This is our second chance policy for the final exam. So the formula on D35 needs to be expanded. Instead of just the summing function, and you need to use another 2if function. Okay? So the first if function that needs to be added, use the formula bar to add it, will have the following arguments. Okay. So our logical test is 2 times score of final exam part 1 will be larger than score of exam 1. So value if true is 2 times score of final exam part 1. Okay. So we just modify the formula on D35. We just delete our example. Okay. So now we need to use if, and the logical task is 2 times that should be D29 is larger than D23, right? 23. Okay. And value if true is 2 times D29. And if value is false, we should keep the same, right? We should keep it as D it should be original, the original score is 23, right? And also next part is for the second chance policy for exam 2. Okay, that should be 2 times D30 larger than D24. And value if true should be 2 times D30 and also D24, right? Okay. So now we may face with some problems because our problem is now in the final exam part 1, the D29, we cannot see any values. So we just add some assumed values. We can just give some assumptions. For example, what is your desired score? We can make it as 22. Okay, 22. And maximum is 25. Okay. So now there is also one problem, which is if you use this function, you can find we just add the exam 1 grade twice, right? Because in our first part of the formula, we use a sum if and the range is D3 to D31. So we have add up the grade for exam 1 for first time. And for the second formula, we also add the exam 1 grade. So we add the exam 1 grade twice. So we need to just divide it. So we should make it as 2 times D29 minus D23, right? And the value for should be 0. And this is also the same. D24. Okay, so you can just change the perspective to think about the part 2 and part 3 formula. So you can just imagine that you have already got the basic scores, which is the sum of all these scores you have got for each part. And the second part is some extra credits, which is like for our second chance of policy, if your final exam part 1 grade is larger than exam 1 grade, so we just give you some extra points, which is 2 times final exam part 1 grade minus exam 1 grade. Okay, so if the condition is false, so we will not give you any extra credits. Okay, so right now, so you can see our totals has been changed to 334, and this is the result which has been applied using the second chance policy. Okay, so this is the modification on the formula. Now we need to just start our simulation using the what if analysis. Okay, so you need to click on D37 cell and then click on Data tab, What if analysis and Scenario Manager. Okay, let's follow the instructions, which is D37 right here, which is another grid, D37. And click Data tab, and you can see What if analysis. What if analysis right here in Forecaster tab. You can see what if analysis. Click what if analysis, click scenario manager. Okay, so you can see the scenario manager window. Now we just add the new scenario. We can make it as scenario, let's imagine. We make it as scenario 1, okay? Scenario 1. So changing cells. So what is changing cells? The changing cell is like if we just change the value in the changing cells, and then we will do the simulation. Okay, it's not easy to explain. I will show you the example. So for example, if we make the changing cells as D29 to D31, D29 to D31, which is your score for final exam. So let's click OK. So for example, in our simulations, you can get 24 points for final exam part 1 and 25 points for final exam part 2 and 21 points for exam part 3. And and we have already create our scenario 1, and we can create the second scenario, scenario 2. In the scenario 2, in our simulation, you can only get 20 points for final exam 1 and 20 points for part 2 and only 15 points for part 3. And in the third scenario, you can get all 4 points for 3 parts. Okay, so this is scenario 2. And we also need to click the summary button. We need to just click the result cells. So the result cell is like, if you change it for different scenarios you have already added, if we use the change the grid in that scenario, so what the letter grid will be changed into. So you need to make the result cells as D37, which is the letter grid. Click OK. And the what if analysis tool will just create the scenario summary worksheet for you automatically. So our current values, you can get just neglect the current values. So for scenario 1, if you get 24, 25, and 21 for the final exam, the 3 parts, you will get a letter grade, which is A. Okay, we make it a center. And for scenario 2, if you just got 19, 20, and 15, you can only get a B plus letter grade. And for our third scenario, if your grades are all full mark, and you will obviously get an A as a final letter grade. Okay, so this is the scenario manager. Okay, so this is the end for this semester, and I understand that it's not so easy for each one of you survived for the whole semester. You will be faced with a lot of difficulties, and at the end of this semester, I really want to help each one of you to pass this exam and also the whole course. So I can offer you some help. For example, if you just forget to submit some of the assignments, and I hope that you can just resubmit them to my email. Okay, so if you just forget some assignments, you can just resubmit them, and all of our quizzes will be reopened on the last day of this semester of this course. And if you want to just compensate for the exam 1 and exam 2, you can do well during the final exam because we have the second chance policy. And for the recitation project, I believe if you have watched this video and do the recitation project following my steps, you will get the full credits, which is 25. And for the TA extra point, it is worth of 8 points. And so 4 is for the recitation attendance, and the next 4 is about the performance during the recitations. And I believe that for each recitation, I have give you the link to a Google form. If you have submit about 80% of the Google form, which will be because we have how many? We have 12 recitations, right? So if you have already submitted 9 forms, so you will get the full credits 4 TA extra credit for the attendance part, which is 4. And I also leave you some extra point questions, and if you have or answered 2 of them, and you will get another 4 points. So 4 plus 4 is 8 points. So this is the TA actual point part. Okay, so this is all for this semester, and I'm really glad and honored to be your TA for this semester. Hope all of you can survive for the final and do well in the final exam. Bye.